Hello and welcome. Let's spend an afternoon meal prepping for my mom because for some reason it's way easier for me to do it for somebody else than it is for myself. So I start with a little grocery haul. We have sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, asparagus, shredded cheeses, bell peppers, rice, olive oil, tomato paste, ground beef, chicken, and a little bit of butter. And I do have some salmon over there. I didn't end up uh, working out the salmon, so we won't talk about that. But I start with the longest thing, which is going to be the sweet potatoes. These are the sweet potatoes that I make every single morning. My mom just really wanted them as well, just exactly how I made them. So all I do is chop them up like this, and then I add olive oil and salt. Also, everything that I'm making today is gluten free, and then it's also seed oil free if you are interested in that. So, yeah. Anyway, so I chop all of these potatoes. I make sure to spread them out evenly on the pans and massage the oil in them so they are all evenly and well coated. And then in the oven they go for 30 minutes. So now moving on to the asparagus, I've obviously washed everything before I am chopping it up. I just did not film washing it, but I just chop the butts off the asparagus after washing, and I kind of do the same thing. I just do oil, I make sure to massage it in, make sure everything's all even, and a little bit of salt. And now on to the stuffed bell peppers. Now, normally whenever I make these, I wouldn't split them. I would just take the tops off like I'm doing now, make sure that they can sit upright and stuff them that way and cook them. But I think for reheating in a meal prep, it's gonna be so much easier to reheat when they are split. So I go ahead and split these, and I want to cook them for a little bit. So I also pop them in the oven. This is a new oven for me, so I am using the convection setting on the 350, which I guess is supposed to make everything the same temperature all around, not have heat rising from the bottom. There's like a fan, which I'm really excited to try whenever I start baking again. We've had some pizzas in it and stuff, and it just makes them so perfect every single time. So I am really excited for that, but that does make it a little easier. I feel like if you don't have a convection oven, I would just flip where the veggies are on the top or the bottom if your oven is completely full, like mine is. Now, moving on to another carb, which is rice. And I just have a little rice maker. It makes it perfect every time. I'm just following the scoops and instructions on that. And I honestly love this thing because you just wash your rice, measure it out, set it, and forget it, and then it's ready when everything else is ready. So I'm going to use the rice mostly as just plain rice, but also as a mixture in the stuffed bell peppers. And now moving on to our last carb of the day, which is mashed potatoes. And so really I'm just ingredient prepping all these things so then my mom can mix and match when and where and with what she eats all of this stuff. So I'm again just chopping all these potatoes and then I'm going to boil them for about 25 to 30 minutes until they're soft and then they'll be ready to mash. I don't take the skins off of my potatoes just because I am incredibly lazy and my mom said I could try it this way this time. She's not used to this, but I personally don't ever notice a difference, especially if you do the immersion blender on it. So, and I also, even if I did notice, I really don't care about skins. So, anyway, now I am moving to the ground beef. I do kind of wish that I didn't put both pounds of ground beef in the skillet at once. I wish I would have just done one at a time. But with this, I am doing tomato beef, which is just beef, like garlic, salt, and tomato paste. And that's going to be the stuffed bell pepper filling and also just a side with the rice, which I eat all the time. Tomato beef, rice, and Brussels sprouts is like one of my go-to meals. But it's been about 30 minutes now since putting everything in the oven, so I'm just wrestling everything and recoating with some olive oil if it looks like it needs it. And then I believe I flip the bell peppers over. And honestly, the bell peppers are really, really watery already. They hold a lot of water, so I really didn't need olive oil on them. That's an unnecessary step. But yeah, I just flip them over and I just want them to roast up a little bit more before stuffing them. And now everything is done and I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit before putting it in its little meal prep containers. So I'm just adding a full can of tomato paste to the 2 pounds of beef. If I were just doing 1 pound, I would just have one of the little tomato pastes, and then I am mixing all of that up. And then for the mashed potatoes, I do mozzarella cheese, and I do a little bit of milk and a little bit of butter. And I sort of honestly just eyeball this. I will add a little bit, mash, realize it needs more. I don't know. I feel like the ratios for mine are different every time based on what I want. But I wanted this one to be very, very mashed, very, very smooth. So I went ahead and added a little bit extra liquid, I think, than what I would normally make for myself. But they ended up really, really good. So I kind of just alter the ratio of this depending on what I want every time. And then I use the immersion blender to make that really, really smooth so you're not even going to notice the skins, and then you didn't waste, 10 to 15 minutes peeling your potatoes. I don't know how long, if that's how long it takes. I haven't peeled a potato since I've been an adult. And now we are building out these stuffed bell peppers. Obviously, if I was making these just to eat, like right away, I would pop all of this right in the oven. Everything would get all melty and great, and that would be that. But these are going to be reheated, so I know that all this cheese is going to melt. So I do cheese, rice, cheese, tomato, beef, cheese, and I'm just using a shredded cheddar cheese. And yeah, I think it's really, really good, really simple. And yeah, if you're about to make it, you can just go ahead and pop it in the oven for, I don't know, like probably another 8 to 10 minutes at 350. If you're reheating it, it probably takes closer to 12 to 15. But yeah, and then I'm just putting all of the extra rice away so you can just have rice with whichever meal. And the other protein I end up making is the chicken, which I'll get to in a moment. So I will say honestly, at this point in the process, I was feeling a little lazy, so I just slit the chicken and did garlic, salt, and pepper over top of it. It's a little bland for my liking. I wish I would have maybe done like a glaze, like a honey glaze, or had some sort of sauce to go with it instead, just for a mixture of flavors. But I'll have to do that next time. This is the full spread minus the chicken. We have sweet potatoes, asparagus, mashed potatoes, stuffed bell peppers, tomato beef, and rice, and then chicken. I do wish the salmon would have worked out because that would have just, I would have liked there to be 3 different kinds of protein. But that's okay. And I think this went really well for the first time trying to do this. This all took me about 2.5 hours. I could not figure out this lid for a little bit, but then literally all the other lids were so smooth and easy. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, this took me about 2.5 hours, and obviously I had to clean afterwards, but it really wasn't too bad. And I feel like if I doubled all this, I could also meal prep for me and my partner. So I don't know, maybe I'll try that this week. But I hope this inspired you to make some lunches of your own. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Bye, guys.